everybody. My name is Janie. I'm a compulsive overeater, and I do weigh and measure 3 meals a day off the gray sheet. I don't in between those meals no matter what, and abstinence is the most important thing in my life, without exception.
Hi, Janie.
Hi, and a lot of my pals are here from way back, and we're getting older, but we're getting hopefully better. I don't always believe that, but we're still here. We're still here in gray sheet, and nobody's left. We're still here. That's what I love. And there's some newer people here, and I get excited about that when we can share the message that this program does work. The 12 steps are definitely my solution. And I've been around these rooms a long time. I'll tell you what it used to be like, what happened to change me, and what I'm like today. And I just will tell you my statistics, that I'm 61, soon will be 62 in a few months, and tomorrow will be my 23 years of gray sheet abstinence. Hard to believe that 23 years have gone by, let alone that they've gone by abstinently. And so I will tell you what it used to be like, what happened to change me, and what I'm like now. And boy, a lot has changed. So when I first came in, I wasn't always a compulsive overeater. That's some people's story. They say, oh, I came in, I was born and I was a compulsive overeater. Not me. I just remember having a normal relationship with food until I was 13 years old. Then my parents were going to get a divorce, and I still function this way. Something's going to happen. I think it's going to happen for sure, and then I acted on that, not knowing what's going to happen in the future, but this is what I think is going to happen. And then, so what I did, wasn't conscious of it, but I started compulsively overeating and turning to food. And they didn't get a divorce, and they were married until my dad died of cancer, and then my mother died years later. But something, the whole family, it was like I felt like everything was going to be disrupted, but I didn't have a conscious knowledge that, oh, I'm going to food because I can't deal with the situation at home. I just did it. And then I started binging and fasting. And that's mostly been my history with compulsive overeating. I'm very impatient. I still am. So diets didn't work for me very well. I tried Weight Watchers and a few things throughout high school, but it was like, get it off fast. So I could fast for 30 days at a time. I can't even believe that. How did you do that? I wouldn't even lick a postage stamp because that was breaking my little 30-day thing. And then, after the 30 days was over, I'd start with something very healthy, and then within about, a half an hour, I was eating the stuff that put on the weight and the stuff we don't have here in gray sheet. And so my history was up and down about 15, 20. I could gain 10 pounds in a weekend from a binge, up and down, up and down. And that didn't change after high school. I carried it on into college, and then I discovered compulsive exercise. I was running and binging and running. I was going to school in Arizona in the heat. I didn't care. I'd be running out in the desert, and then coming back and I started taking laxatives. And that lasted a short while. I had to go to the emergency because I was so dehydrated. And so all my little tricks to try to lose weight and get it off fast, that fasting did not work. It wasn't fast. So then I moved out to LA, and that was 1979, and the therapist said, go to Overeaters Anonymous, because I would go to therapy and I would have binged and complained about my weight, complained about my life, and having crumbs all over me, and then left. Thank you for the knowledge, and then I continue eating. And he knew he couldn't help me that way, and I thank him for that. And because I went to OA and I identified, and I said, wow, here's a beautiful woman. She's up there and she's thin, and she said she had the same thing that I did. She ate, massive quantities and tried to get it off, and food ruled her life and weight ruled her life. And so I got abstinent right away. We had a dignity of choice, and I chose one, and I even ate less because I thought less is better because you lose faster. And no one told me that you weren't supposed to do that. So I lost quite a bit of weight, and then I remember going back home to visit. I'm from Indianapolis, and I had a second breakfast, and then I was off and running. It was like that Pandora's box was open, and I was like eating all sorts of stuff. And the vacation at home turned into a big weight gain. I didn't want to see anybody because I couldn't wear the clothes I brought home on vacation. And I went home to see my friends. And I was so embarrassed to see them because I could not stop eating. So I went back to LA, and I had this merry-go-round with up and down in weight. And so I was in OA, and then Hal came around, and we weighed and measured our food with exception in restaurants, and you brought back a certain thing after 30 days. For some reason, we thought all of a sudden after 30 days we could handle it. Wrong. I could for a bit, and then I started eating again. And so my longest abstinence there was 2 years and 7 months. And it was a circumstance that caused me to break it. I lost a job that I asked to be let go of. And then I said, wait a minute, I can do this job. What am I thinking? And they wouldn't give it back to me. I go, no, really, I can do it. I made a terrible error. Please, no. And I was devastated because I brought it upon myself. I asked to be let go. They didn't fire me. I didn't give myself a chance to learn. I was at a newspaper, and I was like a neophyte. And so anyway, I didn't get the job back. And I did what I knew, which was eat. And I went into severe depression. I remember my parents flying out from Indianapolis. They were so worried about me. And I hadn't put on that much weight yet. But it comes back fast when you're binging. And I was beating myself up over the job thing. I'm never gonna have a job. I'm never gonna have a career. Life is over. Life is over. So dramatic. And so what I ended up doing was going back and getting a master's. And then I went back and I ended up working in the field in journalism, and I got a great job. And it was all how it was supposed to be, but I didn't believe that. And I'm glad I went and got my master's. I might have just continued to work and never gone back to school, and I had a great experience doing that. And I'm so glad that I had the education. Now I can afford it. I mean, that's another thing. It's like my dad really gave me a lot of opportunities that now as an adult I see, wow, I had them and I took them for granted. I didn't realize, oh wow, going to USC and getting my master's and getting a second master's at the same time and all those credits and how much they cost. I just didn't even think about it. I just did what I wanted to do. Dad paid for it, and I didn't think about it. Well, now I think about it because who's responsible? It's me. And unfortunately, I wasn't given the tools in the beginning of, well, you get a job and you earn a living and you support yourself. So well into adulthood, it talks about it in the big book, we're supposed to be financially self-supporting through our own contributions. And I wasn't, and I haven't been most of my life. I've had great jobs, but I haven't been financially self-supporting, and I've been financially irresponsible too. So what does that have to do with gray sheet? What does that have to do with eating and abstinence? Well, I'm in a very difficult time right now. So we'll fast forward. I left Hal, and because I could not get abstinent again. And some people in Hal were going to this thing called gray sheet. So there was a handful of people, and I went to the meeting, and some of the people are here, and I said, this is it. This is it. I like no more. I'm not going to any other program. This is it. I grabbed on to a sponsor, and I said, okay, tell me what to do. I'm stupid. Tell me what to do. I'll do whatever. And I did. And I never looked back. And that was it was June of 1996. I made a few errors, and I had to be sent back. I was mad as anything. After a month of absence, I made a technical error. You mean I have to go back for that? I didn't know. Well, guess you'll be more careful the next time. Guess you'll read labels. Guess you'll, So I go, okay, I got it. So I became much more diligent in reading things and making calls, probably to excess. I could call 5 or 10 times because I'm so nervous about breaking my abstinence. But the thing was, it was the most important thing in my life. And so what if I was a little on the overcautious side? Better that than lose my abstinence. So anyway, I got abstinent, and on August the 25th, 1996, that's my day. And and I never looked back. I just kept moving forward. And so much has happened. People say, well, I did this no matter what, I did that no matter what. Everything is a no matter what. Because if abstinence is the most important thing in my life, without exception, I don't care if I lose my sunglasses, which I do many times in a week. I don't care if it's that I'm having major surgery, or what I'm going through now is a really major crisis in my life. I'm not going to cry. And I thought, well, you know, what am I going to tell these people? I've been in a really bad depression. I don't want to live these days, but I'm going to live because I do, and I know I'll get through it. And I listen to what other people tell me, that this too shall pass, because I don't believe it. It's like when I'm in the middle of something, I think, no, it's always going to be this way. You don't get it. It's never going to change. And if I look back in all these years of abstinence, 23 years, I thought so many things would never change. I was, you know, hung up on some guy, and I said, oh, I'll never get over him. And it's like, who? What's his name? And so I have to laugh at that, but right now I'm not laughing that much. I've been doing comedy for a few years now, and then decided that's not really something that I want to be doing. It's way too much work for no money, and I need to get fiscally responsible in my life. And so what's happened is I've been in a relationship for about a year. It was about a year and 3 months, with a couple of months off for, I guess, good or bad measure, I don't know. But I made some bad decisions, and so I was in this relationship, and I guess I had blinders on. Stayed abstinent throughout, but I wasn't looking at my money. I wasn't looking at what was going on under my nose. So now I've got a lot of financial problems because of this person who now is no longer in my house. That's the good thing. But I'm paying for just going unconscious. I don't go unconscious with the food. I'm very present there. But I guess in other areas that I don't have experience in, I hate to say it at this age, that I didn't look at certain things, and charges were going on under my nose that I didn't know about, and now there's like thousands and thousands of dollars I have to deal with, and that's all I do every day, is sit here with papers and going through this and talking with the police, and now my phone has been turned off. I don't have Wi-Fi, I don't have internet. I feel like I'm in the Stone Ages, It's like, it's ridiculous, but I'm trying to get by on just the basics. And, I have to say that right now I'm not even interested in food. But the thing is, I eat no matter what, and we don't eat no matter what. So if I just put the food on the plate and I go, I don't really care. I don't care if it's canned or frozen. I don't care if it's like delicious. It is what it is. It's the amounts that I eat at the times that I eat it, and I commit it, and I continue to do service here. And I thought my show was going to be a lot more down and depressing. Because I say to people, I don't want to live, but I know I do, because I wouldn't be abstinent. Because that's how I would tell myself that I was throwing in the towel, by picking up the food. So there is that shred of hope that, like I said, when people say things will get better. I'm also looking at a second hip replacement surgery. I had one 9 years ago on my left hip. I got through that abstinently. I know what to do. I had people bring me stuff. I prepared in advance. We plan, we prepare, and the food comes first. Always when I travel, I get the food stuff ready, and then the clothes, and then the jewelry, the matches, and everything else. But no, I gotta have my food, because you can't always get what you need when you go out of town. Usually, yeah, in the country, but if I haven't been out of the country in a long time. But Gray Sheet is very portable. When people say, oh, well, I can't because I'm going to, the doctor said this or that. I go, well, good. Tell the doctor that you have to have this or else. And I remember the last surgery, I said, we don't have this, I don't have this. I'm allergic to this, and I'm not going to have the surgery if you're going to do this. And, and ask and you shall receive. So I was adamant about it, and it happened. So I know this time, too. I don't know when it's going to happen. It may not be till the first of the year. But I'm in a lot of pain, and it's the same thing as the left side, so I know. So I've been through it abstinently, so I get to do it again. And, I'm a little more cautious, and I'm a little more nervous now, too, because I'm 10 years older. And, surgery isn't just something you whip through. It's like a 3-hour operation. It's a major deal. And before, I didn't even think about it. I just wanted to get rid of that pain. So now I'm thinking about it. And also, let's see, how much am I going to have in the copay and this and that. I didn't even think about that before. So I'm trying to get responsible in all areas of my life and grow up. And they say, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. And I am involved in a big book study. It's a year-long process. And I have to admit, I've been stuck on step 4 for a few months. It started in January, we end in December, and I'm sitting on this inventory. It's about like maybe a third done, and I just don't have it in me to sit there and write. I wish I did. I'm so busy with all this financial stuff every day, piles on my dining table. I think I don't have time. But I actually don't have time to not do it, because I was thinking on the way over here that the way out is through. And what is an hour? If I spend an hour just doing some inventory writing to get to the other side of the pain, the emotional pain I'm feeling right now. So I'm going through the emotional pain, the physical pain, and then still staying abstinent. And so that is my hope here, that I can share with people that any circumstance you can get through abstinently. And so when somebody says that I had to eat, I go, no, you chose to eat. We all make choices. I made a choice to let this person who I broke up with come back in my life a second time. And people can say, I told you so. We never knew about that. We didn't think it was a good idea. But you know what? That doesn't help. What helps is to learn a lesson from what I've done and not do it again. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Well, hopefully I will not be doing it again with any other person. Definitely not this person. But, maybe not and maybe so. But I don't think so. I'm in so much pain through this that the only way, as I said, is through. And I work out every day still. I have a certain regime that I have. I'm not working, so I can do that. I still have issues with, clutter and having too much and needing to get rid of things. But all I can say is that I do the best I can on a daily basis, and I am honest about my emotional life. I am honest with where I'm at, and sometimes people don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it. You complain all the time. But I don't say, oh, everything's wonderful. Yes, I'm happy, joyous, and free every day because I'm a gray sheeter and I work the steps. And it is true. I can be on the gratitude side and say, you know what, make that list of 10 things. And I can tell you, I have my dogs, I love my 2 dogs, and I do have money that I can live on. I'm abstinent, I'm in a thin body. My highest weight was 140, and I'm 92 now, and I'm on the thin end of where I usually am. I don't know, I'm not eating less, it's just where I'm at. And I think, oh well, that'll probably be good because I won't be able to do anything for a month when I have the operation. So I'd rather be on the thin side, knowing that not necessarily gain all this weight because I'm going to be abstinent, but I won't be able to exercise. And that's also a way for me to clear my head, as is meditation. And I've been doing meditation every morning for about at least a year now, and I just brought that into my program. I mean, that's one of the steps, and yet I couldn't sit still long enough. Now I love it. I love it. And my phone, I don't have internet and Wi-Fi, so I went to put in the guided meditation. I go, why isn't it working? I go, because I don't have Wi-Fi. Well, I guess I can just sit there then. No, I can't do that. That's too difficult. I got to have somebody guiding me. So I'll figure it out, and eventually I will get back the Wi-Fi. I had to close all my accounts. Everything's been hacked. I'm not on social media, so that gives me a lot more time, not fooling around with Facebook 24/7. A lot of changes. I'm in a different place right now, and I just want to get to be happy again. And like I said, I'm grateful I'm abstinent, but I'm still sad. And it wasn't a good relationship, but I think I'm still grieving it. And the loneliness of just, being in the house. And I never thought I minded eating my meals by myself, and they're my dogs, and it's nice and quiet now, and I don't have to have the TV on, I don't have to have music on, but I know, it's so lonely. And I know that I'm really not alone. I can pick up the phone anytime and reach out to a gray sheeter and say, hey, how are you doing? And get out of myself. So there's so many ways I don't have to stay stuck here. And, yes, it's with the food. That's step 1. But there's like 11 other steps. And so the prayer, the meditation, and sometimes I don't feel God. I wish I could say, oh yes, I feel He's in my life and He's directing me and I know exactly where I'm headed. Not so. You know, I talk to God out loud. I say, please help me, God. I cry to Him. I say, I don't know where I'm going, what I'm supposed to be doing. Please let me know. Thy will, not mine be done. Is that it? So I guess that's a good place to end. Thy will, not mine be done. And I will continue to keep coming back, and hopefully you will too. So thank you for letting me share. Okay, now, in keeping with the first tradition, we ask that you, we already read that? Now we have we ask you to be in your seat before the meeting begins. Then we have general sharing until 9:45, at which point we invite newcomers to share.
Okay.
Oh, boy, this is jumping around here. I'm so sorry. It's now time for secretary's announcement. Now we have our secretary.
Sure. Hi, I'm Janie L. Over here.
Hi, Janie.